Hello and welcome to another A Beer with Wraggy. So today I'm going to talk about supermarkets and which ones are the best for beers these days, which ones are crap, and which ones to look out for. So, um, Aldi, yeah, got a small range of beers. Um, some of the Harper's, is it Harper's? Hop Foundry and Harper's, yeah. There's a few good ones there, gotta be honest. I actually like is it the caramel one? Um, Although it's totally the wrong colour, it should be dark. And you pour it out and you drink it and it's like, why is this not a dark beer? Other than that, their specially selected range, gotta say, Hall and Woodhouse are doing the beers. Some of the beers, I don't know, I think Shepherd Neame might be the other. Hall and Woodhouse, Badger Beers, flipping exceptional brewery. But yeah, small range, Hobgoblin. God, Hobgoblin, Jesus me, F Christ. Um, it's rancid stuff. And yeah, as it goes, there's a few bits in there. It's not an interesting as it goes supermarket wise. It's not there's not much in there. That's about as much as I can say about Aldi. Lidl's the same, really. Lidl's range. Obviously, you've got your standard beers, Doombar, flipping Doombar. My God, that's as bad as bloody King Goblin. Hobgoblin, not King Goblin. King Goblin, as far as I know, is still pretty decent. Proper job in Lidl. There's a fair range. There's a few craft beers, and to be fair, of the two supermarkets, Lidl is a mile better than Aldi when it comes to their beer selection and their secondary beers. The fake branded stuff. Not as good as it used to be years ago when they had monthly specials. Um, they do seem to have died it back quite a bit. So then we'll look at B&M Bargains. I was there at the brand new B&M Bargains near me in Arnold, and I've got to be honest, same crap beers now. At one stage, you'd have a really interesting selection. There'd always be something new, and it's the same beers all the time. I mean, you used to be able to get Ode Roger. He gives it a good Rogering, 7.4%. Now, no, not a chance, And again, it's the same boring beers. For me now, there's no reason to go into B&M Bargains to look for beers. On the lager side of front, it's all pretty standard stuff. Facts say their 10% is probably the only one worth a punt on now, and the Guinness Foreign Extras at B&M are worth a punt. But other than that, really gone downhill. It's just a bland bloody supermarket now. So then we go to Home Bargains. Home Bargains, ultra hit and miss. Home Bargains is. You go to some, there's nothing. There's a few bits, but nothing interesting. And then you go to the bigger ones, and you might see the American beers. And again, they seem to have stayed the same for a while now. Now and again, you'll get a Siren craft beer in. We did see a Thornbridge one the other week, but whether it's just because in Nottingham we're in the wrong area for the good stuff. But again, I feel that Home Bargains has gone downhill. Not the supermarket it was for beers. Again, it used to be like B&M. Every time you went, you'd pop something new. But they do seem to have the same stuff all the time now, ranged in instead of one-offs. So next, we'll talk about Heron. You know, the little Iceland wannabe, as it were. Um, got to be honest, again, you've got to go at the right time. But Heron have some good bargains, some cheap beers. They'll have cheap brew dogs sometimes, one-off brew dogs, lagers that you've never seen, beers you've never seen. But for me, it's a trek to get to, and it's not somewhere that I go regular. Um, but my mate goes in all the time, and he's getting different beers all the flipping time, which winds me up. Don't know why I don't buy me some, and then I'll pay him the money back when I see him. But yeah, they do seem to be interesting. Heron have took the place of Home Bargains and B&M for that one-offs, you know, that you just don't get anywhere else. So next we'll talk about the big supermarkets, Sainsbury's. I think Sainsbury's, for me, have got the best modern traditional beer range. A lot of their own these days. You know, there's nowhere near the amount of beers that used to be back when I left Sainsbury's in 2015. Wow, 9 years ago now. Jesus. Yeah, the range in Sainsbury's is pretty poor. Not the range, but the amount. It's all from, you know, the amount of breweries putting beers on supermarket shelves has whittled down tremendously. I assume that that a lot of the breweries now can't afford to put beers on shelves in supermarkets, hence why you don't see them. But yeah, I mean, modern traditional range, pretty good at Sainsbury's. Their Beer Hawk thing, where they have 5 or 6 from Beer Hawk. I went in yesterday. There was some newbies on the shelves. Nothing that interested me, but there were some newbies. The 4 for £7. Yeah, I like that on the modern traditional stuff. Bearing in mind that all beer's costing more now. 4 for £7, it's better than paying £2 or £3 a bottle. But you've got to snag the 4 for £7. You've got to make sure that you get the deal to, you know, to win, as it were. Obviously got the Brewdog plinth, just a plinth full of Brewdog. Obviously Brewdog, but their beers have gone up in price. Triple Hazy Jane, £3.75. Or was it even more than that? It might have been more than that. A can. They are doing a 4 for £3 though, so again. And Rattle and Rum is still on. Rattle and Rum, small batch. They make me piss. Fucking small. How can it be fucking small batch when it's in every single Sainsbury's? I don't think it's probably not a small batch now, but when it first came out, it said small batch on the can, which is just hilarious. I like the German lagers in Sainsbury's. The lager range, yeah, it's pretty good to be fair. They're nasty, the German lagers. A good set of locals in my Sainsbury's. Couple of Castle Rocks, Bateman's, which are local to me. Sadly, no Blue Monkey. Blue Monkey, I can't not understand why they're not in supermarkets, unless I don't want to be. Like I say, a lot of breweries now, the cost of selling that beer is so cheap to a supermarket. Unless it's just about getting your name out there, it's literally pointless. I mean, I know that Castle Rock brew the beer, and then it goes. I always thought it was Marston's who brewed it for them, so I was told. I think it's bottled at Marston's, from what I hear. And the funny thing is, I actually spoke to them, and no one said out about it. But the beer goes into big tankers and goes away to be bottled. So they must bottle a bloody lot. Yeah, good selection in Sainsbury's. there's a trend now for this 4-packs to not have bottles, cans and bottles in singles, but to have a different, like something on its own in a 4-pack, but not single, which I find really annoying, especially from a review point of view. You don't want to buy 4 of something just to get a review. It's an expensive way of doing reviews, and not these days. Puts me off doing the reviews when it's like that. But yeah, of the supermarkets, Sainsbury's for me is the king of beer and supermarkets. Move on to Asda. My local Asda, the modern traditional range is smaller than it's ever been. And it's just I just find it's not been refreshed for a long time, and yeah, I mean the pricing's I think it's 4 for free, isn't it? Yeah, Asda. And again, they do have beers that no other supermarket has. I mean, Bass for just over £1 is actually decent, for the price. You can't beat a decent pint of Bass. But again, the craft beer range in Asda is boring. They've got their own branded stuff made by 4Pure or whoever it is, and again that's sat there for a while. It's very small, the range in Asda. Lots of Brewdog again. Brewdog seems to be everywhere. Their Power and Beavertown, obviously they're everywhere. Their Power, it seems to be immense at the moment. Camden, they're another one. Breweries with a lot of backing behind them. Lager range at Asda again. Cider range, it's a bit boring, to be honest. I don't rate it at all. We did have a fridge at Asda with some modern traditional stuff in at Christmas and a few craft that none of the beers I'd seen before. I hadn't been into Asda since Christmas because it pissed me off, but fucking making me queue for an hour after I'd scanned everything, and then I'm in the queue and they're fucking letting people through, scanning their stuff. Oh, you'd have to stand in the queue. It's the way she said it as well, cunt. But anyway, fucking arsehole. Pardon my French. But yeah, Asda, the worst of the big 4, in my opinion. Morrison's, they do have a 4 for free. And you've got to be honest, their modern traditional and craft beer range is pretty decent. However, the fucking pricing is wank. Lots of stuff aren't on the 4 for free, and very expensive. If you go in for a single bottle, you just want a certain bottle, it's so expensive. Asda, by the way, do have locals for me anyway. Castle Rock again. Morrison's do have Castle Rock, do have Bateman's. Quite a few from Bateman's actually. Victory Ale and some others. But yeah, Morrison's. You've got 2 versions of Morrison's as well. You've got the craft beer version of Morrison's, and then you've got the non-craft beer. The non-craft beer is shit. The craft beer version is slightly better, but again, their range compared to what it was years ago, and this is the same with all supermarkets, they've shrank the beer range, massively. Real ales I'm on about, not bloody Guinness and stuff like that sort of stuff. And yeah, I just don't rate it in Morrison's. I really don't. So we'll move to Tesco's now. Tesco's, like I posted videos the other day, they've got a plinth now with the macros on the plinth. You've got Brewdog, Beavertown and Camden all on one plinth together, in 4s. And then on the other plinth, you've got the craft beer range. And again, it is depleted compared to what it used to be. Vault City seem to be doing well with their beers, although I didn't really I like the look of that beer. I mean, who chooses the fucking beers? They seem to choose beers that are all the same as well. Fucking 4% AZ IPAs. Let's have another AZ IPA. Oh, and another one. And again, I have no interest in what they've got in their craft beer range. I've looked, not interested. Not for review purposes. It's just like it. The traditional range, modern traditional range at Tesco's. Still got a good range, 4 for $7 on them. I'm not sure if there was any offers on that. 4 for $3 on the, which does seem to be standard now. This 4 for $7 and 4 for $3. 4 for $3 on craft, 4 for $7 on modern traditional. Obviously, some beers aren't on that, so you have to watch. You have to be careful because you get to the till and you're like, you pick 4 beers up thinking they're all on 4 for $7, and some aren't. So you know you've got to be wary of that. Still a good range. You know, if you pick your beers, you can get some belters for that 4 for £7 that you'd pay a lot more for elsewhere. The lager range at Tesco's, yeah, pretty decent actually. Some good lagers. There's German lagers, obviously. Got a Cherry Tooth, Belgium. Cider range at Tesco's, probably the most impressive of all the cider ranges. Them and Sainsbury's. I mean, for me, Sainsbury's and Tesco's, clear winners in supermarkets. So then we're moving on to Waitrose. I've not been to Waitrose for a while. Golden Pride at Waitrose is a must-buy beer, and I'm tempted to go to bloody Waitrose on the way up to Cleethorpes and get Golden Pride and see what other beers they've got. I mean, last time I went in, they had a good range of German, you know, lagers and stuff. So I can't really say much about Waitrose because we haven't got one. Marks and Spencer's, again, very small range nowadays. Literally a few modern traditionals, a couple of rows of craft, a lot of their own branded stuff made by Oakham Ales and Adnams and stuff like that. And again, expensive, really expensive. It feels like the supermarkets are doing their best to not accommodate the beer sector. They must be making the money somewhere. But yeah, again, I mean, across all of them, the areas of beer have shrank, especially in the big four anyway. So for me, Sainsbury's is king. Tesco's just slightly behind, and then the rest, yeah. But Erin is the surprise one. I know that out there, Booths, Adam, Mr. Merseybeers, always goes on about Booths. And when I go up to Liverpool this year, hopefully, we'll get to Booths and, you know, we'll see what they've got to offer. But yeah, that's my beer of Wraggy. Looking at supermarket beers and the ranges. I still like to see more themed beers for the times of year. Easter, Christmas, Halloween, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's. You know, I'd like to see more local breweries getting into supermarkets. Forgot to mention Co-op, to be fair. Co-op, very small range again, really shrank their bloody range. But they did have some locals in. So Lincoln Green going to a local to me, you know, Wraggy's Beers, goes into supermarkets. So, but yeah, I definitely think, from my point of view, that going to your Trembling Madness, going direct to breweries, who do mixed cases, you know, because they're the ones you want. I don't want 12 of any one bloody beer. And Three Brothers Brewing, I got a great selection off them, like 20 different beers, and well worth trying. God, it's cold in here tonight, freezing. But anyway, that's my beer with Wraggy. Yeah, what do you think? It'd be lovely to hear what people think, and cheers on.